Good morning, my ravens. So the day is finally here on which I say goodbye to my current position. And I want to say that I am grateful for this position. When I entered the role and the company, I was a completely different person. I was a completely broken down version of myself. I was going through hell in my life, emotional hell, and just like the worst levels of emotional hell. It was the time when I was going through, I'm gonna leave it at that. I was going through emotional hell, and there were many thoughts of self-harm. There were many thoughts of, or I guess the desire was there to seek help through antidepressants. And it was a serious thing, and I almost left the country. I still remember there was one day at my previous job when I had closed the door of my office, and I called my dad, and I was just crying. I was just bawling my eyes out, and I was crying so much. It was that deep sobbing when you can't breathe when you're trying to speak. And I remember getting a few words out, and it was like I was talking to my dad, and I'm like Baba, I can't do this anymore. Everything is just I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember saying, Baba, I can't do this. I want to leave Toronto, and I want to go somewhere and start new. I remember saying that, and my dad was like, you can't just run away. You don't have the means to do that, right? And I'm sure it hurt him hearing me say those things, but that's how I felt at that moment. And it didn't make it better that job that I was in, the person that I was working under, was just an absolute devil. This person was so mean to me, was so emotionally abusive, was so belittling and condescending. And instead of giving me the tools to succeed in the role and reaching out to me with empathy and kindness and support, this person was just making my time in that role 10 times worse. They knew I was going through something, and they only knew it because they started making up stories saying that people are saying that your mood is really affecting their work, and I need to know what's going on. She was making it up. No one was saying anything. So it's just things like that this person was doing, and you can only imagine how that affects someone who's already feeling worthless, has no self-confidence, is just trying to stay afloat and trying to do whatever they can in their power to stay sane and not completely fall apart, not give up on everything and just not do anything. It was very difficult. It was a very, very, very bad time in my life. Probably, I could say that. Yeah, that was the all-time low. I could say that. All-time low that I've experienced so far. That was the all-time low. And then, honestly, it was like a miracle, literally like a miracle, that I was not feeling well one day from that job. I stayed home. I sent an email to my supervisor, the person, saying that I can't come into work. I'm not feeling good. And I put my phone down after I sent off that email, and I was just trying to get some sleep. And my phone dings, so I pick it up. And it's a LinkedIn message. And the LinkedIn message is from a prior colleague who's saying, hey, there might be an opening at my company that you might be interested in. Are you down to come in today for an interview? First of all, who says that? Today for an interview? And no. Do you want to come in for an interview? That's what he said. Do you want to come in for an interview? And then I remember it was around my birthday. He's like, do you want to come in for an interview? And he said, do you want to come in for an interview? I said, sure. What time? He said, how is tomorrow? I think he said tomorrow 11 o'clock or something. And I was like, actually, I'm free today if they're able to meet me today. And he's like, let me get back to you. And within minutes, it was like an interview was set and I was on my way getting dressed, heading downtown. And I met with everyone. Everything was good. The two managers were amazing, so wonderful. And then within a couple weeks, I was out. And, maybe one day I'll give you guys the full lowdown of how my last day at the previous place was. But holy cow. This person, this supervisor that I reported to, was so salty. Like, she just didn't have a good heart. And I rarely say that about people, but she just had a bad heart. She was just a mean person. Just the way she acted was so petty and so, like the worst kind of person that you could possibly be around. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm so glad that chapter is done. And then when I started here, I got a chance to rebuild myself, my broken self that felt like I was the worst worker, the worst person. No one could ever love me. I felt so worthless. I felt like I was not worth anyone's time. I felt like I was a burden to anyone I felt like I was a burden to anyone and no one wanted to be around me. Like all of these terrible feelings that you're feeling. And my work was sort of the only thing that I could rely on. And she was even taking that away from me. So it was really difficult. But in this new role, I got to rebuild myself. And now I feel so much more confident in myself. I feel so much more like myself, but better than I was when I was doing well in life. You know what I mean? So I know this video is a little long, but it's really important to me to recognize, you don't have to be religious to appreciate these kinds of things. You don't have to believe that it was God that did it. I believe it was God that did it for me, but you can believe in a force, the universe, whatever it is, and still appreciate when you are pulled out of difficult situations, And this is me just appreciating what God did for me, and it's appreciating looking back, not forgetting who I was when I came into this job. I was not the same person I am leaving today. And I am so, so, so grateful and happy to say that. Yes, internally, I do have my emotional struggles, and I might not be like happy, but I'm happy about this. I'm happy about starting a new chapter. I am a little anxious starting a new role. I am anxious that I won't learn fast enough. So those are just regular fears. But I'm happy that I'm getting another opportunity. And even this one, guys, this opportunity just came out of the blue. It came out of the blue. So really, I know sometimes we feel like there's no one looking out for us. But whether you believe it's God or a force or the universe or life, whatever it is that you believe in, there is something at work. And I believe for myself, that it's God looking out for all of us, and He has a plan. He has a plan for all of us, and sometimes we think that we know best, but He always knows what's best for us. The universe will work the way it's supposed to work, the way it's meant to work. Yes, sometimes our life is a product, usually our life is a product of our choices, our mistakes. But there's a plan. There is a plan. And we're not meant to. Just know that all the things that we're going through, it's not like this evil thing is at work and it's just like, I want everyone to be miserable. So you know what I mean? Like, there's not an evil driving force. The hurt that we go through, the success that it's all part of a plan. It's all part of a plan. And I'm a firm believer in that. But again, you don't have to be religious to think this way or feel this way. You can think however you want about the way life is set out, the course of life is set out, and still be appreciative and find comfort in the fact that things are going to get better and they're just going to go the way that they're supposed to go. Okay? I hope you all have a wonderful day. Look at this little Nunu. Look at this little Nunu. Little Nunu. Okay, I'm gonna head into the subway station. I hope you all have a wonderful Friday, and God willing, I will see you all tonight. Stay scrumptious, take care, and Raven out.